Morning, everybody. Welcome back. It's Christmas Eve here in the shop today. We're not really open today. We went ahead and closed down for Christmas, but I didn't have a lot going on today, so I came in. I think Tom's going to come in, work on his bike a little bit. I'm really disorganized this morning. I think I'm going to work on the 750 Pro Street bike a little bit. Got a little bit of wiring to button up on it. I have some Zeus fasteners to mount. I got the fittings for the fuel tank. I need to make some spark plug wires. I mean, it's really minor stuff. It's nothing too exciting. I don't know. That's it. We're going to hang out for a little bit, do some bullshitting, I'm sure. And that's it. Then we'll get out of here for the holiday. So anyway, as always, I thank you guys for joining us. And I'm going to get up and get to work at some point here. So if you remember, I used all these Zeus fasteners to mount the bodywork on this thing. That's how we always did our drag bikes. Even the fuel tank is getting mounted like that. So I like to rivet the Zeus fasteners into place. A lot of guys just leave them loose, but to me, when you do that, it's just a pain every time you got to take them off. So this can be a pain as well, because what we're going to have to do is, I guess I'm going to have to take it off now. Once we pop rivet it, then we have to hammer the pop rivets flat in the inside so that it'll still sit in position where we want it. It's I mean, it's a lot of extra work, but for me it's worthwhile because it just makes the bike that much nicer. Whenever you're doing this kind of work, I always like to drill the first hole, install the rivet, and then drill the second hole. Don't try and drill both holes at once. You'll end up with holes that don't really line up right. So now what we got to do, which is where the real pain comes in. Let me see if I can show you guys a shot of this. Okay, so you can see here where this is poking up, if it'll focus. There we go. The back of the rivet. So we'll knock the center of the rivet out, and then I'll take a body hammer and flatten out the inside of the rivet so it sits flat against the panel where it mounts. So you can see we knocked those centers out and hammered that flat. Now we have a nice inside surface that'll still lay up against the mount. So I'm putting this back on so we can drill our first hole. By doing it like this, having it mounted again, you know, the actual spring that it attaches to holding it on, it ensures that that first hole's in the right location, which ensures it will line up once we get both holes in. And now, as you can see, we take that one out and it's mounted to the tank, so you don't have to worry about it falling or losing it or any of that stuff. Alright, while we got the tank off, I'm going to go ahead and install all the fuel line fittings. So we have a crossover line in the front. So we got two stainless steel 90s. Go ahead and get those installed. Use this Loctite 545 thread sealant. I find it to be far superior to Teflon tape. Been using this for quite a while and have had nothing but good results from it. So I do find it gets a little thin sometimes, like it must separate, so just make sure you give it a good shake before you use it. And that's it. Put some on the threads, thread it in. By the time you go to use it, it's dried and sealed without any leaks, so hard to beat that. Alright, last thing is the fuel petcock. So, when I first started this bike, I bought a Pingle Guzzler dual outlet petcock. It's like a $230 petcock, and someone here lost the box of parts for this bike. I mean, it's here somewhere. It's maybe across the street in our other warehouse. Anyway, I'm tired of looking, so I bought just a inexpensive ball valve, stainless steel, and a aluminum fitting. We're going to use this until the parts turn up. Once the parts turn up, I can swap this out for my good petcock. I just don't want to delay anymore, and I'm not buying another $250 petcock right now. got to drop this on here and check and make sure I got that clocked how we want. Alright, so there we go. We got our crossover fittings. And we got our petcock here. Nice on off. You know, I mean, it's not as nice as the Pingle Guzzler, but it'll serve its purpose for now. And then I got this stainless steel T here, which we can use probably in some orientation like this. We'll have a line coming here, and then a quick elbow there, and one down here. So it's all going to work out pretty good. Got to grab some fuel line from out back, and we'll try and get these lines plumbed. Pop the tank off actually first and make some spark plug wires, and then we can put the tank on for the final time, I think. Alright, so we got our thing stripped. I like to preload the end in the crimper. Then we can slip in our wire. And send it home for a nice crimp. Slide our boot down and install it in our coil. Simple as that. Then we're just going to repeat the process for the other side. Alright, well, plug wires are made, tank's back on, possibly for our final time, or, you know, it's never the final time, but you know what I'm saying. I am going to go see what we got for some fuel line and see about getting this tank plumbed up to the carburetors. Alright, so we got some Motion Pro fuel line here. This is my favorite fuel line. It's pretty expensive, but I find that it does not harden nearly as quickly as all the rest. So, to me, it's worth the money. You can buy it in little. I buy it in big boxes because we use a lot here, but you can buy it in like little packs, 3 feet, I believe, which is plenty to do one bike, and obviously much more affordable if you only have one bike to do. So there we go, we got our line on. See if I can zoom in a little bit. And I think I'm going to make a little tab here to just to hold it, or I guess I could tie it to the throttle cable right here. That may work just as well with a little zip tie, instead of going to all the trouble of making a mount. This obviously stays nice and cold, so there's no worry about that resting against there. Not that you can see what I'm talking about, but here we have the fuel line. This intake manifold, it'll actually probably get ice cold and condensed vapor on the outside, so having this here like I was just saying, won't bother the fuel line at all. Alright, so we got our fuel line tied up. Did a little figure 8 with the zip ties. Helps you from crushing your line and holds it nice and tight. And I think we're getting wrapped up on the fuel lines here. Got to get the crossover line. I got to go try and find a piece of 3/8 hose out in the shop. Alright, so we got another piece of Motion Pro. For our crossover line. Send that across here. We'll get a measurement. There we go. See, we got a crossover line there, and everything's looking good. So I made up the brake lines during the week, but I don't like how this front brake line went. I don't know why I made it so long, so I'm going to pop it off here, shorten it, and I think that'll really make it look a lot better once we get it shortened up. Alright, so I'm going to lop this off. This is this Drag Specialties nylon brake line I use. Super lightweight, which I like. It's also very easy to make. You don't have to deal with all the fraying of braided line and getting stabbed and all that nonsense. You can put it inside of handlebars and frame tubes and all that stuff if you want. Uses a little brass ferrule and a nut. So put your nut on, slide your brass ferrule on, slip the line in the end of the banjo, which in this case is already on the bike, and thread it on. Then you just tighten it up, crushes that brass ferrule, and locks your line on. To me, these are the simplest do-it-yourself brake lines available. They don't require any special tools. You don't even need to have a cutoff wheel or anything to cut it like you would with a stainless line. I mean, it literally, you could make these with a pair of scissors. So, yeah, I like that better. Keep that clear. Adjust this zip tie. And, yeah, so I'm liking that. This is our clutch line, which is fit pretty nice here. I think we need to get it tied up a little different, but once we get it on the ground and we can turn the steering, we will have to relook at everything, make sure everything turns and clears without too much trouble. So that's not something you can do on the lift. That's one of our, once it hits the ground checks we always do. So the last thing I'm thinking about making for this is I really don't like how this finishes off. It just doesn't look finished at all, which it isn't. It's the end of a carburetor. Normally you would run like an air cleaner or something, but on a race bike, obviously I don't want to do that. I don't want to add velocity stacks to it because I don't want to extend the reach too much. So I think I'm going to machine up Electron carburetors is what we used to always run on our drag bikes. They used to make these things called power rings, which are basically just the thickness of this flange, and they protrude out a little bit and basically increase the bell of the carburetor, which is kind of a cool look. And so I'm thinking I'm going to do that. I'm going to grab a piece of paper and my calipers and stuff and see if we can draw something up, and then see what we've got for material, if we have any material to make anything like that here today. Alright, so our outside dimension is 2.16. Damn it, I didn't get a pen. I'm an idiot. Oh, got one right here. Alright, so that'll be our inside 2.160. And we probably, let's see, probably want them 3 inches around. So I gotta see if I have any 3-inch material. And we want them 1 inch thick, so relatively easy part to make if we have some material. So I'm gonna go see about that.
Hard to tell unless it's mounted, you know.
God damn, I know.
That's got a little bit of flex in it. It seems like you should be able to still get it on.
I know.
You know, it doesn't matter if they touch the fiberglass, right?
Not from a
Electrical standpoint.
electrical standpoint, yeah.
This screw isn't in all the way, you know that, right?
I know,
Okay.
but it should. I want to see if it goes down flat now.
Oh, it goes down lower now?
Well, that's, yeah. Yeah.
Will they grab if you had them?
Now, well, I can hold this spring up from underneath. It's not the right spring to actually rivet in place, but it's a temporary. I just reach under.
That's what they use on this type of situation?
Mm-hmm.
It catches onto the straight piece?
Mm-hmm.
If we trim a little bit of that fiberglass.
No, I mean, I've had it on before. That's why it doesn't make
Any sense?
Yeah. There we go.
Here, what can I do?
There we go.
Okay.
It just has to be aligned.
Yeah, right.
And those, I could kill those guys, whoever, with that
Yeah.
box.
Yeah.
I guess I need to shorten those spacers is what I need to do so I can bolt the battery back on, because now I can't do my wiring because I need to turn the key on. I need to turn the key on to test the tail
shorten
light.
the spacers on the...
So if I shorten these, it should, because that's what it was, obviously.
Yeah, you
Was
took
those
the spacer out of that one?
Both of them. That's why you said the screw's not tight.
Yeah.
It's because the bolt's too long. That's why I had the
Oh, I got you,
spacers. But not, I can tell.
I didn't watch that video.
Yeah. Interesting.
I watch a lot of videos.
You should watch all of my videos, every one of them.
I don't think I have a YouTube thing.
You seem to be watching Billy Lane's videos.
That's on Instagram. Will you set me up with a YouTube thing today? Before we leave?
Yeah, you got YouTube on your phone?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so just log it, just make an account. If you don't have one, you got an email address, right?
Yeah. I'm not as socially trendy as you are. I've watched videos of you, whole videos.
Yeah.
Sitting in my house.
Yeah. But what you get, you can get it on your TV. That's how I do it.
Yeah.
You got YouTube on your TV.
Yes. Okay, so I'm on YouTube.
Do you have an account?
Not that I'm aware of.
Well, yeah, so look for a thing that says like log in. Or something of that
Or
nature.
subscribe.
No, well, subscribe is, you don't want to subscribe because that's like YouTube TV. They want you to pay for it. So there you go.
So it's getting closer to 2,500.
Yeah, but that's over.
Oh, it's over?
Yeah. I
That was within 1 year?
yeah, I wasn't gonna let it. I mean, I try. You know.
So what are you going to do with the bike now?
I don't know. I'm trying to come up with something else that we can do to try to help build the channel to get it given away. But
Did you ever ride that bike?
it's not finished.
Oh, it's not.
It needs to be wired still and like a few other, but I just, you know, we took it out of here to take it to Dania.
Okay, yeah.
And then I never, you know.
And I was a PR man in Dania, to say the least.
Yeah.
I talked that shit up like a son of a bitch.
It didn't help.
I know, but
I know.
I like doing that stuff, man.
I know.
I'm looking forward to going to...
All right. We got our tail light wired up. Got our brake light switch wired. We still got to bleed brakes. Bleed clutch system. I did not have the material to make our intake rings, so I ordered some of that. And man, I don't know, we're getting really close. I think it's time to get this lift cleaned off, make our final punch list, and hopefully maybe next weekend we'll be able to take this thing down.
Don't point that thing over here.
Tom showed up again today, flip-flops, zero work done. You can always tell he shows up in flip-flops, he ain't doing a thing.
Ain't doing shit.
Nothing. Told me he was going to get his whole bike finished today. And he didn't. Well, let's take a quick look at that anyway. We did get the floorboards all finished up last week.
Lay that one down.
Lay what one down?
That floorboard.
I'm gonna. Yeah. Trying to get it in the... There we go. So, this is some 2000 and later Heritage floorboards. They don't bolt onto an Evo frame, so we made some aluminum adapters. This was one of the renditions. We had to sneak up on getting the holes located correctly, so now we got them perfectly level, and it's a complete bolt-on adapter. Both sides requires no modifications to the frame and no modifications to the floorboards. So it's a really cool piece because Evo floorboard foot controls are really hard to come by, and these newer twin cam setups are actually nicer pieces. They're constructed better braking, and much less expensive. So cool little piece we got added on there, and hopefully we're going to get some work done on this thing pretty soon.
That's for sure.
Alright, well, we got a little bit of motivation left for the day, so I'm going to try and see about getting some of these hydraulic systems bled. Going to start out with the back brakes, just because, I don't know, they seem to be the easiest to reach at this very moment. It's a cool little tool that I bought for bleeding fresh brake systems. It actually pumps it from the caliper up to the reservoir. So we're gonna see how this works out. Should be interesting. Hopefully it works well. This is gonna take too many hands. Tom!
Yeah.
Hey, can you help me?
Yeah.
It's too many hands. Can you
Yeah.
come around here and pump this brake?
Yeah. Around the other side?
Well, yeah, I mean, however you can get over here. Just like a couple pumps and then hold, you know.
Okay. Oh, because that's a regular place? Okay, you tell me when.
Pump. Like a couple. Do you feel anything?
Not much.
All right, hold.
Getting
Like
there.
some brakes.
Yeah, I got some brakes for sure.
All right, let's try one more just for grins. Yep. All right, that's all fluid.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Yeah, you feel them, but yeah.
Hand me that
Rag?
that dirty rag, or that yellow rag. Actually, that's not quite as bad. Yeah, I'm telling you, every one of them.
You just keep on looking for your nuts over there, okay? Since you don't have them with you today. Yeah. You need to quit eating so many groceries, too. You see that picture of you at the dinner?
Yo, did you see
Looked like you were
that?
pregnant.
Did you see the picture of you in the magazine from when we went to Virginia?
No.
You look like you gained 30 pounds since then. I didn't.
The picture at the
I see you.
dinner, I was like,
I see you every.
I look like I'm 3 feet wide.
I see you every day, so I don't notice. But you are. The magazine's right there. Flip through. You're way skinnier.
Hey, just because you don't have an ass?
I don't even.
Eating a lot.
I don't even remember like that. You were like so like. But
Just
yeah,
because you don't have an ass doesn't mean you're fat.
it's not. It's like.
You have an inner tube for a 74.
Can you rebuild
Kawasaki
my
100?
motor today? You know that's what it is probably.
Oh, I need some inner tube material if you come across any.
Yeah, I mean, it's always. Like how much?
Oh, not much. Just like one inner tube, maybe a 200 or something. Like a 10 by 10 section. There's these splash guards on my FJ underneath that block water from getting on the motor from underneath the fender wells in the front. And I replaced them probably about 4 or 5 years ago.
Bump it.
And I noticed one of them ripped again. I'm just going to replace them with the inner tubes.
Hold them.
Pump. Pump. Something's going on down here with this caliper, I think.
Yeah, because it ain't changed now. I can tell why he's pumping.
Yeah.
Can you not get it out of there, John, without taking the wheel off?
No.
That always makes it fun.
It's because it's a giant brake rotor.
I know it is. The old pickle. Now, don't do her wrong like you do everybody else, alright? Please.
Oh, it's just brown.
Pump it. Hold. Okay, so it's not that.
Here, you fluid down the line.
Yeah. It's not that. Alright, I guess I'm going to split this caliper open so we can see.
Blow it out.
Yeah.
Better use caliper bust or somewhere.
No, it's brand new, actually, I think. I don't know what the heck's going on, so. Alright, guys. Got all our brakes bled. Man, this thing is really just about done. Waiting on a piece of aluminum to make those intake stacks. And I got to order a couple Zeus fasteners and Zeus springs to replace the missing ones. Put one spacer in the sprocket hub in the back wheel. And we're really getting down to the nitty gritty here. So, looks like a hose clamp on the bottom. Radiator hose. I mean, just real minor stuff. So we're going to get this lift cleaned off this week. Make a final punch list and get this thing finished up and on the ground next Saturday. So there you have it. This bike cosmetically is 100% finished. One or two little small mods to make. Or not really mods, just parts to install. And those two little air cleaner rings that we're going to machine up. I ordered some 3-inch round aluminum today, so that'll show up sometime next week, I assume. And, a couple more Zeus fasteners in the tail section and whatnot. For structural stuff, we need to nut and bolt it. And we'll put some gas and water and oil and all that good stuff in it. And try and run this thing next week. So, I have to say I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. And I would venture to guess this is the most radical Honda Shadow in the world. So, if you know of another one, let me know. I'd love to check it out. I love unique outside the box builds, as I'm sure you guys are starting to realize by watching the kind of stuff we do. All right, everybody, that's going to do it for today. We are getting out of here for Christmas. We're not really getting any extra days off. We're closed on Sundays and Mondays. There will be no Monday Panhead video this week, obviously. I'm going to spend Christmas with my daughter. I hope you guys all have a very Merry Christmas. Get to spend it with your family. I hope everybody gets some cool motorcycle parts for Christmas. We'll try and sneak a midweek video in if we can, sometimes next week, just depending on how our schedule goes. Sometimes the week between Christmas and New Year's is completely dead, and other times it's completely mobbed. So if we have the time, we'll try and get a midweek video up. And that's it. Merry Christmas. And we hope to see you guys next time at Gatti's Garage.